What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at the Protectobots, and we are going to form Defensor. First up are the bots. We have Groove here in the front, Rook, Streetwise, Hotspot, First Aid, and Blades. So we're going to start with the guys who are supposed to form the feet first. In the Defensor configuration, Hasbro has decided to have First Aid and Streetwise be the feet. Now, G1 fans and fans of the upcoming Defensor from Takara Wars will know that Groove and Streetwise are the feet. Groove, otherwise this guy, is getting a deluxe class figure, so that's going to be awesome. We'll start off with First Aid. Simply take the combiner port off, stick it to the back of the vehicle, come to the front of the vehicle and pop the hood open. I already have the combiner port folded out. Collapse the hood onto the front of the where the windscreen would be, and stand it up. That's it. It's good to go. Streetwise, take the gun off the roof, fold out the heel, attach it to the back of the vehicle, come to the undercarriage of the vehicle, flip up this black chest protector, sort of lift up a little bit. That way we can get the windscreen to pop up, and take the entire rear of the vehicle mode, or front of the vehicle mode, and flip it around and upside down like that. And there we have the legs are ready to go. Next up are Rook and Blades for the arms. Now, if you've ever seen Alpha Bravo transform, you know how Blades is going to transform. First, remove the weapons, unpeg the missiles, which are the hands, and just kind of put them down. Take the rear of the vehicle mode and flip it up and collapse it back down. Fold the head into the rotor blade area. By that will flip out the combiner port. Then extend the legs like you're going to transform him into robot mode. And before you do that, you might want to open up the front of the vehicle mode. At least do not break it. So he is going to form the right arm of Defensor. And fold that down, flip the blades in there, ratchet the arms around, bend it so that we have elbow articulation, fold up the canopy, and attach the combiner port, and flip out the fist, or hand. What I like to do is then take the gun and put it on one of the other bots, because where you would put it on here on this mode is kind of covered up, so you could put the gun somewhere else. Or you could put it like right here, but that just looks silly. Now Rook is a little bit different. First, take off the combiner port and remove the tuning fork. Then for the body, or for the SWAT vehicle, take the front of the SWAT vehicle and flip it up. What I like to do is just take the robot head and flip it back a little bit, and that will then allow this entire SWAT front section to fold up. Flip out the combiner port, and then act like breakdown and fold out what are the robot legs. Sometimes it's a little easier said than done. And then combine them back together, like that. And you have two choices. You can either just leave the front of the vehicle mode out like that, or you could flip it down for the combiner port. I just flip it out because I think it actually looks a little better. And then twist everything around and into place. And there we go. We have the arms. Now, one thing that is cool about Rook is you could put at least one of his weapons here on the front, or you could stick it off coming out of the back here and attach blades here to the side. That'll work as well. You could do that. I sometimes do that. I think that works perfectly fine. And like I said, here are the arms, so let's go ahead and get on to the torso. Now for Hotspot. This is nuts, and this is probably my favorite of the core or torso combiners. First, we're going to remove the guns, then take the arms, point them straight down, and then fold them up on that second hinge, and then fold them up again, and they will peg into his shoulders. So just do that. Come to the front and fold the red part down and flip the robot head in and close and then flip the red part all the way down. Next, turn the figure so that the back of the figure is facing you, turn the legs out such that the outside of the legs are facing you, and then collapse the legs like you were going to transform the figure into the vehicle mode. And remember, we got to make sure that the little piece connects. And what I mean is this little tiny pin will connect into this little tiny groove on the legs. And sometimes it's harder than said than done, but just fiddle with it for a little bit and you'll get it in no time. Now spread them out a little bit and come to the back and extend the ladder all the way out, like that. And then what we're going to do is open up and butterfly the ladder and snap it so that it's like this. Flip it down till it snaps into place, and then you peg the outside black parts into the shoulders, like that. Then we are going to flip the ladder all the way around the figure. So first the ladder will connect into the chest, then flip between the legs and connect there, then flip up, or I should say break the ladder, and it'll flip up. And this cab, or this hose, I guess you would call this water hose section, will actually peg into the area between where the robot head originally was. Once we flip that around, we can then bring the legs down, snap them back into place, come to the sides here and butterfly the sides open. Then take the head, or then we take this section here and flip it around to form the top of Defensor's head, flip Defensor's head around, and there we go. See? That is pretty darn cool. The last bit of the transformation involves these black pieces where you just open them up so you can drop the combiner ports in. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present Defensor? He's pretty cool. Now, my hotspot does have an issue, and that has to do with the hips. You see Defensor is leaning forward, and that's because there's way too much play in the ratchets on his hips. But other than that, I think the figure and the set is phenomenal. I was not prepared to like Defensor as much as I do. In fact, I think it's one of the best combiners. So far, the Autobot combiners are my favorite, that being Defensor and Superion. Now, Galvatronus, which I'll be reviewing after Defensor, is pretty good looking, and Menasor is okay, but Menasor has some real problems that I don't think Defensor or Superion have. Defensor just looks awesome, and the head sculpt, and he holds together fairly well. The only issue I have is that little leaning forward bit that has to do with the weird hip issue that I have. Really, really like this mode a lot, or really like this combiner a lot. I'm also smitten with his head sculpt. It is fantastic. So good. So G1-esque. Just really works for me on all levels. The thing I like least about Defensor is his primary weapon. It's just Hotshot's guns put back to back. That's really, really dumb. I would have preferred they come up with something different. It's just kind of lazy in all honesty, but I understand why they did it. The last bit of this combination that we need to talk about is Groove. Groove is supposed to peg into Defensor's chest. Specifically, he will peg into these little holes right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll come back and do a comparison. So I'll be the first to tell you that combining Groove with the rest of this set is a pain in the butt. It is just annoying and stupid, and to be honest, I do not like what we end up with. That just looks stupid. It looks like somebody murdered and hacked up a motorcycle and decided to put it on a giant robot. That adds nothing to the figure. Defensor is a great combiner, and the Protectobots are also really, really cool. I actually love Rook. I think Rook is probably my favorite of the 5, next to maybe Hotspot. I actually really like Hotspot's robot mode. The overall aesthetic of the set is good. Now, we do have an actual deluxe Groove coming in the Japanese Unite Wars set for the Protectobots, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to get an online-only release of Groove here in the US. Similar to Quickslinger and Breakneck. I have an inkling that we're going to see that. I don't have any specific information, it's a gut feeling. So guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video review of Defensor from Transformers Combiner Wars. As always, I'm Baltmatrix, asking you to like, comment, and subscribe, and please be sure to stick around for my next video review.